Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Every time I start talking about boxing, a white man got full rockin' my piano out there.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Oh, this hard got network being this good.
One more again, see what I take on your front set, I swear.
You ain't my daddy, are you?
There's gonna be consequences and repercussions.
What time is it?
Okay, welcome to the Don't Be Blasé podcast. We're coming to you live from the House of Pain, otherwise known as Snap Fitness in the Adelaide CBD. I'm your host, BK1, joined again by my good friend, Steve Burrows.
Hello there.
Welcome back, Steve.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks for having me back. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But before we get to that, we get to our sponsor. Thanks to guys Larry and Ladd. Go see the boys in Region Arcade. Get yourself an awesome coffee and some pretty sweet tunes. But for now, on to the show. Now, the show's going to start with Steve. I'm going to let Steve start because we missed him last week. He was absent, and we brought in a replacement, and let's be honest, replacement wasn't that good. So I've had to drag Steve's lousy ass back. So Steve, tell us about your week.
Yeah, cheers, man. Yeah, sorry for not being here last week. Took the family down to a little Goa, little spot down on the south coast-ish. Kind of, I guess, in Adelaide. Apparently, I listened to your show. I did listen to your show. What do you think? What do you think of your show?
It was a show.
Yeah,
we did it. We got some points across, and I believe that you have some issues with last week's show.
Well, you got some points across. Was it Andy?
Andy,
Yeah. What was his points?
Because
I think you always making lots of points, and he was kind of. I remember. I think in the actual you went, dude, are you going to say something? What was going on?
That's why the show was called "Give Me Donuts" because he wasn't providing a whole lot. He didn't give the sort of bad. It's his first time. We'll give him a break. We'll give him a break. I mean, he's a shit bloke.
Remember that time when it was one of the first shows we had to totally delete the first 5 minutes because I think
actually the very first one we recorded, I think we just threw out the whole show.
That one did.
Yeah, because you gave me nothing on that one, but that's all right. Steve has a bit of liquid courage, and now I can't shut him up. Yeah. He's confident now, and he feels like he's got the backing of the social media, and now he's just all guns blazing. But I believe, now you've told me this, you agreed with me on a point from last week.
Yeah, definitely. Because when you posted it, you posted something about what do you like better, Michael Jackson or the Take on Me, and my initial reaction was I thought you would be the Michael Jackson guy.
No.
That was the first thing, because it said remember the time, and I know you're a Lakers guy, and I thought, oh, really? Maybe that's Spee. And then I saw Hard, of course, that has to be Spee, when you think about it. But yeah, then when I listened back to your podcast, I totally agree with you. I think, that first of all, that Michael Jackson song is pretty lousy.
That's my issue. The film clip was great. Let's be honest.
Yeah, of course it was.
Clip.
Yeah.
But I think to be one of the great film clips of all time, it has to be a great song accompanied with a great clip.
You said Thriller.
The Thriller wins overall, hands down. Great song, amazing clip. Yeah. I even watched it myself the other night on the couch. This is one of the things I was just thinking about. When we were little, my mum did post on, thanks mum, posted on on the Facebook that when I was a child, I was scared of that film clip and I used to go hide behind the couch. Of course, yeah. I was little. I was scared of zombies, and turns out being a small child scared of Michael Jackson, probably a good thing. But going from there, we used to have that on VHS.
Warning signs.
Yeah. If only we knew about Kevin Spacey. But when I was, we had the VHS. And it had the full film clip, like the full 7 minute, the extended version, and then it had the making of.
Okay.
I think Mum had gone when she bought the VCR, at the shop that you bought it. You got this free video to go with it, and that was the free video. And me and my brother used to watch it all the time, even though it scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
So I've watched that video and the thing, and then what made me laugh was just sitting on the couch pulling it up on my phone.
Yeah,
and it's just I remember I used to pull that tape out of the little, the little paper ones that you used to have. You pull the tape out, chuck your tape in your VCR, I watched it 100 times. Now I can just literally pull it up on my phone. It's there 10 seconds.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember when we got DVDs. I went out and bought 3 DVDs, and I watched those DVDs about 25 times.
Yeah, yeah.
Never watched them ever since, you know.
No, but that's now you can just whatever you
Yeah.
need. Even if you want to watch a movie, you don't even go hire the whole movie. You just pull up the clip that you want to see from
That's right.
YouTube and then just go from there.
That's why people know about white chicks these
Exactly.
days. They know
it's
the...
all the memes and all the the little clips from it. Yeah.
That's right.
But anyway, back to the.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we get sidetracked easy. It's Friday afternoon, guys,
Yeah.
when we record this, so we get sidetracked quite easy. We're all excited for the weekend.
Yeah.
But with the music videos, like that was like an art back
Yes,
in the day.
it
You know,
was,
you
yeah,
needed,
that's
you know, you had a great song, and your great song had your great clip to accompany it. So you know, like there was a lot of good clips back in the day. But that's why I liked the Take on Me, because it was I remember it from when I was a kid. You know, and that song came out in the 80s.
Yeah,
I was born in
very
83. You know, and
Yeah.
I was only very young, but the cartoonish thing, the black and white, and
Yep.
the two guys chasing him with a wrench. I just always remembered that as a kid.
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
Yeah, it was weird. Like that was a weird choice of weapon to go after the guy with. But yeah, these two old blokes chased him through the cartoon dream thing with a wrench, and then he got the girl at the end. It was weird, but it was a good song. I remember liking the song, and that's why I really enjoyed that. But
Yeah.
then you go to Remember the Time, and so the two issues I have with that being the number 2 song of all time is you can't have Michael Jackson 1 and 2.
Okay.
You can't do that. I like to have a bit of variety. I like to spread myself around.
Yep.
And number 2 is it's not that great a song.
No, the song is overrated.
It's not even one of his top 5 songs.
Nah, it would get on the greatest hits album purely because of the video, I think. You know, like the song itself is... Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many better songs than that.
Even like I would say, even for a Michael Jackson film clip, I'm pretty sure the only film clip I ever saw for it for Dirty Diana. I love that song.
Yeah.
And I think the only film clip they ever had was the live version of that song.
Okay, yep.
And I would honestly say that's a better film clip because that song's so powerful and, the way he sings it and stuff like that. It's one of those songs that, you hear songs and they give you little goosebumps every now and then and you can just hear like real emotion in the song. And you see him sing that and you see the whole crowd.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a better film clip
Yeah.
than just having a high budget, throw in a whole bunch of cameos. It's almost like the... what's that TV show? The Mark Wahlberg TV show.
Oh, Entourage?
Entourage,
Yeah.
When they did the Entourage movie.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good fucking movie. It was just
man.
every scene had a cameo with a famous person.
Yeah.
That's, to me, what Remember the Time felt like. They had all this huge budget. They had these huge cameos.
Yeah.
They had some pretty cool special effects for the time.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
voila, you made a clip.
Smooth Criminal had a better film clip than Remember the Time when... anyhow, you're okay, and then the kids get watching through the window, and then they start dancing.
That also, me and my brother had that movie on VHS.
Oh, did you? Yeah. What movie was that?
Moonraker.
I was talking about the moon.
Moon something.
Moonwalker.
Moonwalker.
Yeah, right.
That should make sense.
Yeah.
But but that was it has that thing where he turns into that big statue thing at the end. Weird movie. Michael, you were a visionary, but you're quite weird.
He was.
Yeah.
Do you think? And this is off the topic, but do you think Michael Jackson? We talked about Beatles and Stones, but do you think Michael Jackson, up until today, is the biggest ever star, like pop star, musical star?
See,
who would be in the conversation about that? You think him?
I struggle with Michael Jackson because, and it's a weird thing because I know he had the problem with his skin and he started turning light, but I found the lighter he got, the less I was like when he was younger, like Jackson 5 and Off the Wall, Thriller, that sort of stuff. That's my wheelhouse. I love that stuff. Like I even love the B-sides for Jackson 5 stuff. Like I love Dancing Machine. Is one of my favorites. Dancing, boom, boom.
My mum was a big Motown.
I love
know
that sort of music, and I love
stuff,
all that sort of young Michael and the beginning of Michael. The bad acne Michael, and I enjoyed. He had some shocking skin, but then when he started to turn, and everything started becoming big budget, and then it just became that thing of whatever Michael brings out is genius. And it was like maybe not so much because I remember reading. I think I watched a documentary on it. And they said because Thriller made so much money and sold so many records, no one ever wanted to tell Michael no again.
Oh, okay.
And that's how he got himself into all the financial trouble and stuff like that because he would just like, can I do this? And everyone would be like, yeah, sure, Michael, whatever you want. And that's, you've got to sort of, have, it's almost like a child. You've got to give them some sort of boundaries. Otherwise, they're just going to run wild. And I think that's the problem is just, everything sort of just came out and everyone just went, oh, that's good, it's good. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes, Like when Michael does say, oh, that's good, really good. Yeah, no, Michael, you can't do no wrong. But just the music wasn't as good. The songs, post...
I think that might be a time of his life, though. I think obviously, as he was going through and he was having problems with the world, or he would see the world issues, he would you know, the songs changed.
Yeah.
They weren't these pop songs. They were, you know, Heal the World or, you know...
Black or White. And
yeah, like, it was a little bit different. They were a bit more... not political statement, or a little bit political, I guess.
See, I would preferred, if you want to talk about film clips, Black or White was probably a better film
Yeah,
clip.
that was
Purely
cool.
because you almost saw Tyra Banks naked. That's just me, I'm a little bit weird.
Was that the shoulder up or
Yeah,
something?
Yeah, like the shoulders up, you're like,
changing
oh,
the
hang on,
faces.
yeah, and then everything
That
changes.
was before she was like big time, I think.
Yeah, when her forehead was a little bit smaller. But
Oh man, you're on fire, wasn't it?
yeah, I'm salty today.
Yeah, wow,
I'm just
weird.
having a go at everybody. But yeah, I mean, that was one of those things, like, if you've got a bit of, when you're younger, if you got a bit of skin in the film clip,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like, that's why I always remember
Imagination.
the film
basically.
clip to Girls on Film by Duran Duran.
Oh, okay.
Because that was the first time I saw boobs in a film clip. It was like one of those late night on rage film clips. You're like, hey, that's tits. They were tits.
Yeah.
They were quite clearly tits. Like, oh.
Why do you think you watch things like Police Academy and stuff, you know?
Yeah,
like those
the
real...
big chick.
Yeah, there's always some booze or something in there, you know?
Just a lot of innuendo.
Yeah.
That's a loss. Once again, I've discussed this on other friends' podcast. Shout out to Josh Armour. We talked about this once. The young lads today don't understand the struggle of having to, something like True Lies. You've seen True Lies?
Of course.
And
Oh, yeah.
every guy our age has seen True Lies. It's a great movie.
It's about the dance scene.
Yeah. When Jamie Lee Curtis does the little striptease. And you don't see anything. No boob, no butt, nothing. But it's that sexy dance scene and stuff. And I'm sorry, this is going to get a bit blue and a bit gross, but every lad I know has knuckled one out to that one.
It was so awkward at the start.
Yeah, I
remember?
know, but it's just, but still by the end of it, you're kind of like, and like, remember you had to kind of leave movies on your tape in that spot, and you'd watch it back, and you'd watch it, and you rewind it, and watch it back, rewind it. Now, these, like I said, the whole thing on the phone, you just pull up porn on your phone,
Oh,
no
that's
worries.
right,
You know what I mean? But that's a lost art.
Yeah, it is.
Of just trying to find anything that you might find slightly
That is
arousing
so
and
funny.
using your imagination to make it happen.
Why Men Can't Jump, there's a split second where
Rosie
Rosie's
Perez.
nipple comes out. I'm like, it's a brown nipple. That's awesome.
This is
Oh,
my
that's
favourite.
exciting.
They were talking about this, like, one of my favourite TV shows is Jesus and Mero.
Yeah.
And they had Fabulous on.
Oh, the rapper.
The rapper Fabulous. And so
Okay.
they were bringing up the fact that they had Rosie Perez on a couple of days before.
Yeah.
And he goes, did you bring up her boobs and do the right thing? Like, that's the thing. Like, they're all our age, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the first question they actually asked Rosie Perez. Do you actually
Excellent.
like ice on your nipples? You know, and like from that scene where...
I don't know that. I was
you've
talking about
never
Why Men
seen
Can't
Do the Right
Jump.
Thing? Do the Right Thing with the Spike Lee. And he's mookie. And
I don't
and
watch Spike
it's
Lee
like
films.
it's a hot night and stuff like. 'Cause he works at Pizza Bar, whatever. It's a good
Okay.
movie. It's a very good
Yeah.
movie. But he rubs ice on the nipples, and even
Oh,
one of the
okay.
things they say, what message do you want to give to the world? You know, put it in a rainbow.
Okay.
And Fabulous goes, always rub ice on the nipples.
Well,
You know?
yeah,
So,
go on.
you know, we remember stuff from movies like that. If you saw anything sort of, pardon the pun, titillating, you remembered that movie. You remembered that scene.
Titillating or tintillating?
Titillating.
It is
That's the word.
titillating.
Tintillating's not a word.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I've got a full education. No, I'm not sure about you.
Sorry, I was pausing for it.
My mum's a teacher, mate. She corrected everything. So, but yeah, that's the thing. Like, once
Always
again, going back to
someone
the
first
film,
later.
we're talking about
No,
film
it does
once
make
again.
sense.
Yeah, but it's that whole, whatever can capture your imagination. And sometimes it doesn't have to be high budget. Like, there's a
No.
band called OK Computer, small band. They've had a couple of songs that sort of be like moderate radio play and stuff. But they have a film clip you've probably seen because it's the four guys on the band walking on treadmills. They've got 4 treadmills set up that are 2 facing one way, 2 are facing the other way, and they kind of dance across the treadmills.
Oh, okay,
and step
sure.
forward, step back, you
Yeah, I
beat
think
the music and stuff, and slide this and that, and it's really clever. It's
Okay.
like a steady cam shot, just the one camera shooting forward and watching these 4 blokes like in sync walking across like
Yeah.
4 treadmills, and it's great to watch.
Yeah.
And that's like a small budget sort of film clip, and it's still incredible.
But I think that happened in the 80s and 90s in entertainment in general. Like, yeah, everything became Hollywood,
Yeah.
and that's what happened with the film clips. In the old days, the 60s and 70s, they used to record people playing the guitar, playing the
Yeah.
drums, and the dudes on the front guy on the microphone. And then things like Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
he was a game changer, and Thriller came out, and then it changed the game. People had to start making film clips,
Or even just
not
the
music
big,
videos.
the big stadium tours. Because, I mean, you look at a band like U2, they were
Yeah.
always just guitars and
Sure.
instruments and Bono singing. And
Yeah.
then that Zoo World Tour and stuff like that
Right.
with the big stage show. And that became a big thing too. And that's also,
Yeah.
like you said, you do have a point with Michael Jackson being
Yeah.
the big star, but there was a lot of big stars back then. You know, and you got to remember that the people that we had came up, like, I don't want to make it sound, once again, we sound really old and washed, but in our day, we had those stars because, I mean, I've watched all those old documentaries on the Beatles and when they came to Adelaide. I mean, you see, there's people in the streets everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you had Michael Jackson who had those shows with like 100,000 people. You know,
people would cry on the side of him. You know, they would literally break
someone
down.
like Madonna
was
a mega star.
She's worth like $600 million. I heard the other day.
Like Prince. You know, like, who can we really compare to these people these days? You know, there's a lot of these boy bands that sort of come up and they're popular with the kids. You know, Bieber would probably be the next biggest star of maybe the modern era. But really, it hurts you to say that. But you remember, like, you got to see it through a kid's eye.
I'm down. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just wondering, and I'll put it to you, what's your thought, and it just popped in my head. Is it because of the access? Is it because we've got so much access to these people? Remember the old Cole? Okay, we'll just segue quickly into wrestling, just because he said, never become friends with the fans. Yeah. Once you become friends with the fans, you're not a wrestler no more. You're their mate.
That's why I always loved there's an old saying from an old baseball manager who goes, the more you listen to the fans, the more likely you are going to be sitting next to them.
Right.
So that's one of those things, And that's one of the big things I think I find is with the megastars there, and you've got Twitter. You know,
they're accessible to everything. They're humanised.
Yeah, you can become...
They're not gods.
Not friends with them, but you can contact them. They'll message you back. You know what I mean?
Chuck D follows our boy Rocky.
That's it,
Monero, man. Trying to get him here, man. It's unreal.
We had a long-standing thing where we kept trying to heckle John Stamos until he responded. Random celebrity to pick, but we just started heckling him until he got a response.
In the old days, there was no contact. They were...
Or you could write him a letter.
Of course, a fan club, maybe.
Fan club.
Yeah.
But there wasn't... I think the exclusivity of... You know, but that's also that you had to go see a concert or a show, and that's the thing. That's where, you know, like every man and their dog these days has quote unquote social anxiety, and they don't want to leave the house. But the whole going to see, you know, I mean, even for us, like going to see a wrestling show, going to see a band, you know, I mean, like you can just watch a clip online and watch it. Oh, I'm just going to stream it. Why stream it when you can be there in person? You know, what I mean, like, okay, I liked watching. Like I said, I'll bring back to just concerts. I liked U2 as a band until I saw them in concert. It was terrible. But it was one of those things, like if I had just watched them online all the time and I watched them, you know, watched their concert DVDs, I would have gone, oh, they're pretty cool. Yeah. Until I was actually there in person and went, wow, they're actually very rubbish. But by the same token, you know, like Robbie Williams, you laugh at Robbie Williams and me loving the show, but it's his performance. Like I thought his music was okay. Good. But then when I saw him in person and then saw his performance, that's when it really drew me in. You know, and I think that's the lost art of being a real sort of celebrity, being a real rock star. That's the lost art. Because I've said this to a few friends before. Like, remember when Muse was the #1 band in the world? And like for a brief period, it was like maybe 8 or 9 years ago, it was like, oh, Muse is like the big rock band. I remember going to the Big Day Out. It's a music festival we used to have in Australia, and I saw them play. Now, one of the lead singer came out, he had like jeans, sneakers, and like a fancy jacket. Like it was this sort of, you know, like a stage jacket, but just a fancy jacket. The other guy had jeans, sneakers, and a zip-up, like a soccer zip-up jacket, and the drummer just had like jeans and a t-shirt on and sneakers. I'm sorry, but that doesn't cut it for me. You know, I grew up in the era of Kiss, where their stage show probably outdoes their actual music. You know, me and you went and saw Guns N' Roses. We bumped into each other there. Someone like Slash, you know, what I mean, like you see those film clips with the crowds and they used to draw and stuff like that. You know, and you go see the Rolling Stones, the performance they had. One of the greatest things I've ever seen is the Rolling Stones from Brazil. Okay. So it's a DVD. You can probably pull it up on YouTube. Well, you can do fucking everything these days. And you know the guitar intro to Paint It Black?
Yeah,
Yeah. So he plays, like Keith Richards.
That was so good. That was way better than the Beatles.
Oh, mate.
We're going to talk about this one day. We do.
I don't want to bottle you on the radio.
We do need to talk about this, man.
Well, not today, because you're going to get me angry. But let me finish the Keith Richards thing. So he starts playing the intro to Paint It Black, but he does like an extended intro. So, and the whole stage is black, except for the spotlight. Yeah. And he's playing this like long version of intro, and the other instruments are starting to kick in a little bit. But when it gets to that bit of the, you know, the end of the intro with the diddling, and before the drums kick in, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. As he does that last little bit of the intro, he steps into the spotlight, cigarette hanging out.
All he does, he looks
up at the crowd, pulls the cigarette out of his mouth, lifts it up, gives him the nod, puts it back in his mouth, waves to the drummer, boof, 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 and it was just the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Man.
You know? But that's what you need. You know? In the music today, it's just like, oh, I'm really talented and I can make this music and listen to it online. No, fuck. What can you do live?
Yeah.
That's where...
He certainly wasn't too cool for school, was he, man? He was in that moment and he engaged the audience and that was amazing. Other than your Muse jacket, Adidas jacket guy. They was too cool for school.
Admittedly, if you were listening to them and you couldn't see them, you'd be like, fuck, these guys are really good.
Right.
Because musically, they were really good.
Yeah.
But as far as like a performance, it was like, right, so you guys are just going to stand there and play instruments and just sing? Like, at least the lead singer of Grinspoon comes out. He's got like makeup on one eye and he's knocking off vodka while he's singing. I need that. I need a performance. I can't just have people doing what they do well. I need a show with it too.
Yep, fair enough. So who was your top 5? Michael Jackson. Who's competing with Michael Jackson again?
So we got.
What do you think? Who do you think? I was just curious. I mean, because if you look back over the years, I mean, we're at 2017 now, closing at 2018. You know, music has been around, since the dawn of time, I guess. But I mean, it really, I guess, hit in the 50s with like people like Elvis and stuff like that. He was probably the original mega star, was he?
Yeah.
Late 50s, wasn't he?
Well, Fats Domino apparently has the record for... He died last week.
Yeah, he did.
Apparently
recently,
he had the record for highest amount of records sold or something.
Okay,
so obviously he must have been a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, okay.
Bit before our time.
Yeah, there was. And that was around the same time as... who's a La Bamba?
Yeah, Richie Valens.
Richie Valens, Buddy Holly.
You better say Ludab and Phillips.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a good movie.
That would have been in the 50s, I reckon. And then the 60s come, and then you had Beatles, Stones, obviously the British Invasion, whatever they were called. Mum was a big Motown fan, as I was saying before, so I was Big Temptations, Diana Ross, Four Tops. Yeah. And then the 70s come in, the hippies, I guess, Doors, yeah. I mean, and Doors, to me, dare I say, I feel like they're not overrated, but they got a couple of songs, and the rest of it I'll take or leave it.
I would almost put the Doors in the at 27 Club. You got like Doors, Janis Joplin's, that sort of stuff. Jimi Hendrix. Yeah. Now I love Jimmy. I won't have any Jimmy. Jimmy is one of the greatest.
He was, but was he only around for like 3 or 4 years?
And the thing is, like, with putting Jimmy aside for a second, just to go back to the Doors. I almost put always like to do era comparisons.
Yeah, sure.
So don't compare eras, but to me, I just think the Doors from the 70s or 60s, 70s, whatever they were pretty much just
what, In Excess?
No, Nirvana.
Okay, yeah,
I
sure.
draw comparisons there.
Definitely.
I can see really big, really impressive, and then just lead singer dies, and it's about a wrap.
Yeah.
Although, what's the name did do a pretty good job for himself afterwards.
Foo Fighters?
What's his name?
Dave Grohl.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing, so many people forget that he was the drummer for
Nirvana.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, I always put Michael Jackson as the number one pop star of all time.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, he was the king of pop.
He was the king of pop.
Wasn't just a clever name.
Wasn't just actually worked out.
Yeah, he was impressive.
Yeah, I always say him, and then you talk about. I mean, look, Elvis was gone by the time we were born. And
see, my issue with the Elvis and the Michael Jackson worship, is because it almost goes back to that thing we said a couple of weeks ago about when we were talking about the top 5 rappers. It's
sure.
You die the hero, or live along yourself, become the villain.
Yeah,
they both, in my book, towards the end, not great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Fat Elvis and White Michael, not great representations of who they were.
Yeah, so they lived, their careers spanned, 30 years, I guess, so they had a chance to fuck up.
If they, and when you sort of get to see that bad downfall, I would almost rather, you burn out than fade away. You know,
sure.
And they sort of, they hit that stage where it was towards the end, you're kind of like, it's getting a little creepy.
Yeah, okay.
And so to me, that's what, I mean, it may be blasphemy to say that they weren't great artists, but just in my personal book, it's just like, I saw too much.
So, I mean, but look at Stones. They've been touring for 50 years and they're still killing it.
Because they've kept their gimmick going the whole time. Like I said, how's Keith Richards still alive? Because his body is fucking pickled. His internal organs, I love the one, there's a story from his book. He had the flu one time. The tour manager gave him Lemsip. He didn't know what to do with it, so he started racking up lines of Lemsip and snorted it. That is Rockstar. You know, like, I mean, it falls in the same vein of, you know, there's that 30 for 30 that just came out the other day with one where we're big fans.
Oh, yes.
Ric Flair.
Yeah, dude.
Ric Flair's never going to, you know, like, even if he died tomorrow, people are never going to go, he just sort of washed up. Nah, he's been Ric Flair for fucking ever.
Yeah.
You know, and like, even Hogan, he's been a massive star forever.
Yeah.
You know, and they're guys that can carry through.
Okay,
you know?
yeah.
Like, Michael Jordan's maintained his personality forever. The fact that he's a scumbag and a gambler and smokes too many cigarettes. You know, and like, it's just...
cigars. Is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Schwarzenegger smokes cigars.
I'm just trying to fucking pick holes in it, right? Like that. Well, there you go. Schwarzenegger. He's another one that's kept his sort of credibility, star power. You know, to me, the Michael and the Elvis, they lost a bit from, and that's just personal opinion.
No, I get that. I don't think the music. I think it was for Michael. It was more the court cases.
Yeah,
that was pretty damning. I thought.
Yeah, the court cases.
You know?
Yeah, that's it's a big.
I remember it was 1996 or whatever. They used to do this sort of like a recap of his court case from the day, and I couldn't stop watching it. It was incredible, man.
See, when you find out stuff like that, it does kind of turn you off. People as much as I loved Michael when he was younger, and I loved the music, and I can still listen, like I said, I can still listen to the old stuff, love it, and a few songs here and there off the new stuff. Yeah, but you know, like,
it's only alleged though.
You know, if it gets alleged enough, you know, and there's usually where there's smoke, there's fire. But to be honest, like as far as the family, I've always been a bigger fan of Janet.
Well, you know, actually, and by the way, guys, we totally weren't going to talk about this. We had a list, and this has got nothing to do with any of it. Janet Jackson, actually, I heard this on VHS, VHS, is it?
VH1.
VH1. She, after her first album, she actually signed the biggest contract in history.
It was Virgin Music.
Bigger than Michael Jackson's.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that.
The two biggest, highest
I think it was before or after Rhythm Nation.
Yeah, you're better at Rain Man than I am for that stuff, man.
I just remember because it was the Virgin Music thing. That was like, they pumped her up like huge. And she was the very first concert I ever went to. I was 14 when I saw the Velvet Rope tour.
Really?
Oh, fucking incredible show. Yeah. Oh, talking about like, okay, so when you're that young, that age, you're 14.
Yeah.
Anything. So, like,
those emotions.
That Velvet Rope album, she gets, you know. Oh, she gets a bit raunchy.
Now, hang on. Which one's that one? Is that That's the Way Love Goes, or
no, one after? She gets a bit. Okay. That's the Way Love Goes. Is the one that she had J-Lo in the film clip.
Did it?
Yeah, the film clip had J-Lo in it.
Really?
Yeah, as a backup dancer.
No shit.
Yeah, Rain Man knows everything. But yeah, then Velvet Rope, she got a bit raunchy. And it was like late 90s, and it was like, some of the clips, like some of the songs like Rope Burn and stuff like that. Maybe you listen to that late at night when you're...
I don't think I've ever heard that, to be honest with you.
I've actually downloaded it again on my Apple Music, once again. Fucking iPhones, incredible.
Yeah.
But, so I listened to that recently, and I've always been a bigger fan of Janet. Yeah.
Oh, even bigger than the Thriller stuff. Bad.
But like I said, because it's once something gets tainted, like
Man
I said,
in the Mirror.
It's like U2. They've been tainted
Yeah.
in my eyes because of the shitty live show.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy it as much. So same way that I love, like I said, when Thriller comes on, I listen to when, all those songs you listed come on, I love them. All the Motown stuff, I love it.
Yeah.
But would I go straight away, let's listen to Michael Jackson? I'm like, kind of like always like hesitant, like, you touch kids. You know, and like...
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But it's just that it did taint it.
Okay,
bit, and so it's his star power.
Yeah, diminished.
Same way
I get that.
I love Prince.
Yeah.
But, when he went full Christian and then started bashing gays, it was like, not as he physically beat it up, but like, verbally, like coming out against like homosexual stuff like that. I'm like, oh, Prince, not a good look.
Yeah.
Like, you used to wear high heels and like women's tops, so I don't know how you're gonna
blouses.
So like, I love Prince and I love the music, and I still listen to Purple Rain all the time. And
good stuff.
Just segue. Have you watched Purple Rain the movie recently?
I've not watched that since probably
Yeah,
God knows how long.
Yeah, last year when I was coming.
Any good?
When I was coming back from San Francisco, watched it on the plane. Yeah, he smacks his girlfriend a whole lot. Yeah, it's a really weird movie. One of those ones that probably wouldn't hold up today. You watch it and you go, right.
When was that done?
80s.
When
the song came out.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so they say I love Prince, but there's always things there that will taint it a little bit.
Yeah, fair
Madonna
enough.
didn't really do anything to taint it. She just sort of, it's harder for females, I think, too because she was like a sex symbol.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's a bit harder for a woman to. I mean, she's reinvented herself quite well, and her music's always been good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not great, not my cup of tea, not my first choice, but if you listen to it, it's like, yeah, I can listen to this.
Yeah.
And probably the closest I could get to her would be someone like Pink.
Okay. Or Beyonce, maybe.
Well,
Beyonce.
different genre of music.
Okay.
I think Beyonce
But star
follows.
power, though.
Yeah, star power for sure. Like
Yeah.
Beyonce would probably be the closest thing we have to, like a hybrid. I think I'll just put her in the rung between Michael and Madonna.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So she'd probably be just behind because she is like super duper mega.
She's a legit, yeah, she's superstar.
Mm.
Yeah, she's up there as high as anyone else has. Yeah, because her career, even from Destiny's Child to now,
Yeah.
she's not stopped like coming out with hits.
Oh, yeah, no, and every album's got hits.
It's always got
Yeah.
hits.
And you know, she's become almost like a religion.
Yeah.
To girls, you know, and
Yeah,
like, yeah,
she's
whatever
fantastic.
Beyonce says goes, you know, and
Yeah.
if she turned around tomorrow and said, I'm going to run for president, she'd get all the female vote without even trying. You
Yeah.
know, and like, it's just, she's a megastar.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z still cheated on her.
I know, man. I'm gonna fuck things up, dude. I mean, shit.
Well, he was, you know...
Yeah, he's a player, man.
Yeah,
you know.
but dudes are just scumbags. Like, some of
Yeah.
us, we have our scumbag moments. It happens.
You heard that song Big Pimpin', man. He says something. I'm bad with lyrics, so I can't remember them off, but yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to Big Pimpin', and he says pretty much that he's never going to be tied down ever.
Yeah.
Pre-blowing up Beyonce. He didn't know he was going to
Well, that's the one thing I really enjoy. Because I was like, once again, Jay-Z was one of those ones that everyone always brings him up in best rapper of all time.
Right.
And I, like I said, liked his stuff, didn't love
Yeah.
it. You know, Reasonable Doubt, amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Black Album, amazing.
Yeah.
And then there's a few fillers in there. Magna Carta album wasn't a huge fan of.
Is that the more recent one? Maybe
One of the
3
more
years ago?
recent-
2 years ago?
that
Yeah,
wasn't
I didn't
great.
like that at all,
Yeah.
man.
But then this new one, that 444,
Which I have not heard, by the way.
really good.
Okay.
And because I've always liked hip hop that told a story.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean? Like every song needs to have a story, give me something to follow, and that's what I'm going to get into. And, you know, he talks about how he cheated on Beyonce.
Oh, does he really?
In a song. Oh,
Interesting.
yeah. And how it was going to affect his family life and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And he talks about how he's, you know, now it's more
Are they
important.
still together or not?
Yeah, they're still together.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, she can forgive.
Yeah.
That's why she's Queen Bee.
It's a good Christian girl.
Yeah, she's a great girl. But he talks about his family. He talks about, you know, saving money and this and that.
Yeah,
He's
saving money.
No, seriously. He said, like, one of the lines is like, what's more important, what's better than throwing money at a strip club? He says credit.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah, okay,
it's just
yeah,
like,
that's cool.
you know, I mean, like he's grown up, and it's
Oh, that's
kind
good.
of as an older
He
bloke
must be
now.
pushing 50.
Well, yeah, getting close. But as an older guy myself, that's sort of changed my mind frame. I'm not old, but you know, but I'm not in my 20s, so I'm not
Okay.
thinking about going out every weekend
Sure,
anymore, Steve.
sure.
You know, and so it's one of those things you kind of, you know, you enjoy the bravado and the talk and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick up all these chicks and party and stuff like that when you're in 20s. Now you're in 30s, like, being sensible with my money might be a little bit more. And yeah, so this album sort of, it doesn't have the bangers, you know, that the other albums might have. There's no 99 Problems on there, but it's got some good tracks and stuff that makes you think, you know. And like I enjoy, like I said, songs that tell stories. That's probably the reason why Nas's first album was so good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's why I loved a lot of the Tupac stuff and the Biggie stuff. Every song had a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I have always enjoyed about hip hop. So that's why the Jay-Z's newest stuff, like the newest album, to me is one of his better ones.
Yeah, excellent. Look, when did that come out recently or something?
It was this year. It was
Okay.
maybe about 6 months ago. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's usually how far behind I am with
Yeah.
the kids these days. I'm pretty far.
But you're always up to date with your bloody video games.
Oh, dude, Mario. Oh, by the way, I've played a little bit of Mario lately.
Any good?
It's really good.
Yeah?
Actually, yeah. The 7 minutes I got to play was amazing. There's an opening.
And all you did was enter your name.
That's right. The opening video sequence was for 6.5. I was like, come on, man. And the baby wakes up. It's like, yeah, I'll get him. Yeah.
Okay,
But
did
did you see the photo I posted?
of your
On
setup?
my little consoles
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I got a bit of a cable management problem, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy with that so far.
Yeah, you're happy with
got
the
some
setup?
Sonys to set up. There's one more cupboard on the right hand side. I need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to do a panorama next time.
Yeah,
Get the
yeah.
whole lot in.
Panorama. See, that's something that you kids know how to do on the phones. I know of it.
Yep.
I've just never done it before.
No, that's all right, mate. I'll teach you off air.
Please teach me. But yeah, the Mario game was good. The
Well,
Mario game was
speaking
happening.
of new school stuff, we're going to
Okay.
segue from our music talk. It was
Okay.
longer chat than we expected.
That was.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, man.
This is one thing that I've been bringing up this week with Steve, and Steve thinks I'm just get too excited too
Get ahead
easy.
of himself, I think, maybe.
But I want to discuss one man with you,
Yep.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
Is he just the greatest basketball player of all time? Yes or no?
Yeah, he according to you, he is.
You know me, when I jump on a bandwagon, I've got 2 feet on.
shit.
I
Put
am
the seatbelt on.
Yeah, I'm
Locked
in. I am locked in. Me and our man Nick, that listens to the show, Nick Hambor,
Yeah.
me and him are locked in.
Is he keen on?
Oh, we're both just locked in. Just
Yeah.
both feet firmly on that bandwagon of the
Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis.
He's good.
He's incredible.
No, there's been 10 games of the season so far. He's
And he
already
scored
missed
30
one.
in every one of them.
Yeah, he scored 28, I remember.
Well, he scored 40 in the next one. Come on,
that's
give him a
right.
break.
Look, the dude is good. I still, to me, the jury's out. It's like when people go, the Adelaide Crows drafted a young 17-year-old from. Couldn't give a fuck, man. Wait until he's proven before I'm going to get on.
Like a Tom Lynch, yeah.
Yes.
Proven himself to be really shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I just think that, I've heard a couple of debates going around, like who's going to be better out of Kristaps or someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah,
Greek
I cannot pronounce that name. You did that really well.
Yeah,
Well done.
I've lived in Greece and
Yeah.
I'm a little bit ethnic
I'd
myself.
say
yeah.
Giannis.
Yeah.
Actually, you called him Giannis.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. It's that surname that really catches people
Yeah,
off.
no.
That's the reason
Don't
why
be tempted.
a lot of the sports radio you listen to, they just go, Greek freak.
Yeah. Great.
It was
Yes.
just their way of getting rid of him. But I just think that going forward, these guys are sort of the future of what they call positionless basketball.
Yeah.
They're not really power forwards because they're not big and thick, but then they're too big to be small forwards, but they're tall enough to be centers, but they still have the skills of a guard.
Yeah.
I think it's just incredible to watch. And this is the first time, I think, in my entire 34 years of life that I'm really looking forward to watching the Milwaukee Bucks play the New York Knicks. I think that is the only time I've ever said that in my entire life, ever. Like, I
That
can
is
honestly
exciting.
say that is the only time I've excited to watch those two teams play.
Yeah, it's definitely it's the evolution of basketball. It's been and it hasn't just happened overnight. It's been happening for years. Like the bigger. I mean, Magic Johnson was a freak because he was
6'9"
abnormal.
point guard, yeah.
But when you think about it, then the 6'6" guards were dominating the sport, and then who watches people like that? Then you got people like LeBron who watches people like that, and then he's the next bigger again. So he takes what he saw. Those skills, he adapts them to himself, and now he's 6'8". Look at Kevin Garnett. Once again, he was 7 foot, played like a shooting guard, but could rebound like a center. Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki, those European players, Tony Kukoc, those tall white, 7-footers. But yeah, look, I'm excited, and I'm glad you're excited about it, because you're very up and about for this season. That's cool because it's definitely against the norm. We're so sick of, we're so used to LeBron just ruling the East. This has definitely thrown a bit of a spanner in his works.
Well, it's just made it exciting again. It's just like, it's almost back to where, the super team thing is a thing. You know what I mean? Like, you've got the teams that have their, the Warriors, and they've got their 3 stars, and like, you don't play.
They're 2 superstars,
yeah,
and
2
then
superstars
other
and
stars,
two good stars.
Yeah.
But then, like, it was supposed to happen in Cleveland.
Yeah.
But that seems to is falling apart a bit. The whole new Big 3 in Oklahoma City hasn't provided a lot of wins so far.
No.
And so it's almost seeming like it's gone back to that model that we loved in the 90s, where you've got your big player and you fill the team around them. Like Giannis is the star, and they've got your Thon Maker, and they've just brought Bledsoe over, and you're going to have players go around them.
Yeah.
Kristaps is taking over New York. I mean, admittedly, small sample size.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm excited. But the thing is, the NBA, because it's just more exciting when the Knicks are up and about. Like I said, the Knicks have always been my sort of second team, purely because I always wanted to see them beat the Bulls. But when the Knicks suck, it's not as much fun. But when the Knicks are half decent, it's always exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Jeremy Lin. Had Jeremy Lin won 5 games in a row for Milwaukee, no one would have cared.
Yeah,
but the fact that he won 5 in a row for New York at the Garden, it's definitely a huge deal, and that's why I think like someone like Kristaps is really, really important for the NBA going forward.
Yeah,
because A, he's got those skills. B, you're looking at 2 of the best young players not born in the USA.
Yeah,
there's this funny stat I was talking about the other day. The city with the most number 1 overall draft picks is actually Melbourne.
Okay,
it's because Bogut was born there.
Yeah,
Ben Simmons was born there.
Yeah.
And Kyrie was born there.
Yeah.
And they were all number 1 overall.
Okay.
And so Melbourne,
cool.
so that's, shout out to us down in Australia.
Yeah.
We're kicking ass.
Yeah.
But, you've got Giannis, who's from Greece. You've got the Latvian superstar, Kristaps. And you've got someone like Nikola Jokic. And you've got Goran Dragic coming from Slovenia, and that new kid, that Luka Luka Doncic or some.
Yeah.
Once again, I was a bit better with pronunciations before I had a few drinks. But yeah, there's a new kid coming from Slovenia. They think he might be number 1 overall in the draft this year. You know, and so it's that changing of the guard with the NBA that I'm really enjoying, with players coming from here, there, and everywhere.
Well, they always have, I think. I mean, and you obviously we have to mention Ben Simmons, from Australia, as far as how well he's played for his first 10 games.
It's been incredible.
They did a comparison against him and LeBron. Did you see that?
Yeah, you can't do the 10 game comparison.
10 game.
The same way I use that as an excuse though when they showed the 10 game comparison between Lonzo and Jason Kidd.
Okay.
Very similar.
Oh, really?
So yeah, everyone's been bagging Lonzo, and I've been hearing a lot of bullshit talk about Lonzo because he's struggled and his shooting's terrible.
Yeah.
But he's a stud. He's one of those players. He's 19 years old.
Yeah.
You've got to give him a break. Everyone's like, oh, Kyle Kuzma's a better player. Kyle Kuzma played 3 years of college.
Yeah.
He's built. He's a man. He's 22.
Yeah.
You know, and like this kid has got a shit dad in his ear.
Yeah.
And his brother's in jail in China. And his little brother is a weirdo. So, he's got a bit on his shoulders. He's trying to carry one of, arguably the top 2 franchises in NBA history.
Yeah.
It's going to take him a while to get used to it. I'm not stressing about Lonzo yet. If he's playing this bad next year, maybe, time for an alarm. But Brandon Ingram, who was the untradeable golden boy last year, he looked terrible as a rookie. And he was supposed to be a shooter and a scorer. Didn't have much better stats than Lonzo's having now. So I'm going to give Lonzo a break there.
Okay. But he's got that Michael Jackson acne problem going.
Yeah, he's got some shit skin. That's not
that's unfortunate.
It's that Matty Cruiser face from Carlton. It's not an HD face. It's that they're the guys that need to go back to the analog TV. Yeah. HD is not their friend.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, I'm pretty excited, that these young guys, because, LeBron's been ruling the show for probably about 10 years now, I would suggest roughly, but I'm still, I think the young players are still definitely a couple rungs underneath, no matter how they're playing well. LeBron's still the number 1 guy. Kevin Durant, in my opinion, is still number 2. And then you've got those James Hardens. Even though I'm not a big fan of them, they're still very good players.
I just think that like I said, we talked about it. We did our preseason preview. We thought, shit, without LeBron, this league's going to go to hell pretty quick. That's good. And I just think now, like I said, just having the Knicks be up.
Yeah.
And having a sort of, great white hope at New York, it's going to sort of keep some interest going in the NBA going forward that, if LeBron does sort of start to fade away from here on in, maybe it won't kill the league as bad as we thought it was going to.
Having said that, LeBron's been playing really well. The biggest problem with LeBron is he's turning the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
He's turning it over. His turnovers are super high at the moment. He had another 9 or 10 today. In a close game, you can't have that,
But the thing is, he's just playing with blokes that aren't engaged at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the greatest shooter of all time, J.R. Smith.
But, that guy's a bum.
No, mate, JR.
He'd go back to the bench, man.
No, he's a superstar. He's just having a bad run. But,
good guy down on his luck.
Yeah, we love our guys. They're good. But anyway, so we're going to go through our last little topic here. It's going to be a short, sweet one. But this is going to be the one that we're going to hit up on the Facebook. So, guys, remember the Don't Be Blase podcast on Facebook. Just search DBB Podcast. Add your comments to this one because this is one that I'm very passionate about. Now, Steve, which one are you taking? If you are offered 2 things, smooth or crunchy peanut butter, which one are you grabbing?
Can I firstly say I'd have both, and I didn't even know they still made crunchy. But if they still do make crunchy, I'm definitely going to smooth.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually had a feeling this was coming up.
What kind of psychopath are you, Steve? No one likes... What is smooth peanut butter? What is it?
He's about 20 feet away from the mic, and you can still probably hear him. He is very
Steve?
red.
Ridiculous.
It's smooth peanut butter. I feed it to my daughter because it's just...
Feed it to your dog, mate. It's not worth... I feel bad for Sophie. I'm calling child welfare. If you're giving your daughter...
I didn't even know they made crunchy peanut butter.
Didn't know they made crunchy peanut butter.
I thought it was a 90s phase, It was a kind of came in with the New Kids on the Block or something and then disappeared or something. I don't know.
Do not compare crunchy peanut butter to New Kids on the Block. Okay? It's more than hanging tough, all right?
Hanging tough, yeah.
You can't go smooth, Steve. It's just like, okay, you put butter on the toast and you put peanut butter.
No, you don't. That's the thing. No. Oh, see, that's where you're going. If you have toast, and you put peanut butter,
you're always going to have a line of butter first.
Not if you put peanut butter. Peanut butter
you always have to go butter first.
No, that's what that.
Too dry, Steve.
This makes a lot of sense now. Smooth peanut butter, Kraft or whoever that from there is nowadays. You don't need margarine or butter anymore.
Who's margarine anyway? You fucking psychopath. Once again, child welfare.
Well, no, we don't have margarine. I'm just saying.
Head to Paulsville and grab those two kids
out of
and save their
25,
lives.
out of 25 listeners, we might have a margarine list. I'm just trying to be,
Yeah.
you know, worldly and shit. But yeah, peanut butter, you don't need it. You don't need butter. You have butter if you need Vegemite. You have butter if you have jam, but you don't need it for peanut butter.
This is gonna sort this out right now. You're the kind of bloke that eats hard shell tacos, aren't you?
No, I eat the burrito version.
The soft one.
The soft, yeah.
Okay,
those
good.
burritos.
Because I was gonna punch you in the face.
Oh, God.
But this is gonna be.
aggressive.
Oh, mate, just shit life choices from you. First it was bloody.
I reckon my boy Andy would be on my side.
I don't think
Does
Andy.
he have an opinion on this? He
Andy-
didn't have an opinion on that.
I love Andy, but he's a lovely, darling fiance. He's deathly, what's the name, allergic to nuts.
Oh.
He can't even eat them and then go near her.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, his peanut butter days are long gone. Yeah.
Oh.
You know, most blokes, they get a wife or whatever and they can't
I
drink
didn't know
it.
that was a real thing. I thought it happened with kids or
No,
something.
she's serious. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
wow.
bad. It's just to carry them for bed. But yeah, you know how most blokes, they get the girlfriend, Mrs. Wife, whatever, and they stop drinking. Yeah, he's off the peanuts now.
Oh,
He's,
wow.
can't even go the mixed nuts. Yeah, he's done with it.
Oh.
Sorry, Andy, I had to air your dirty laundry there, mate, but you're nut free from now on. But yeah, no. That's going to be our decision. Not only are we going to go through 2 topics, guys. We need your feedback. We're going to post it now. I've got a feeling I'm going to win this one hands down. The 2 things are crunchy or smooth peanut butter. Shouldn't even be a good conversation. But then the second one is going to be, do you put butter on before your peanut butter?
It's called peanut butter.
Yes, but you still need
No,
butter on
it's
first.
doubling up the butter.
It's dry, mate.
Peanut butter isn't dry.
It
The
is dry.
smooth, the smooth is
Because
like
you're probably one of those blokes that just
party
puts
in your
the-
mouth and
you
everyone's
just put
invited.
toast
man.
in there until it's just slightly warm, don't you? You don't even have crunchy
No,
toast.
Jonah does that. No.
Oh.
I want the nice brown
Yeah.
tinge.
Now, does it have to be square bread again, or?
Well, is toast anything other than square bread?
Well, once again, we've established that bread.
That's a
doesn't
good
have-
question. Is toast? You can't have.
You can have round toast. You can have
No.
sourdough, toasted sourdough and stuff like that. Sourdough's not always.
It's not
in a
called
square.
toast. It's called sourdough.
Yeah.
If you
You separate every classification of bread ever.
No, I'm just saying, if you, hang on, this is important, because if you have toast,
Yeah.
you put 2 pieces of the old, we buy the,
Tip top.
no, I do that, the pink one, what's the pink one, it's whole milk, or whatever it is called, it doesn't matter,
Wonder
it's
bread.
square,
Yeah. You put it on square. Wonder
and
bread.
you put the square pieces of bread in the toast, and that's called toast.
Yeah.
Okay, you can toast other things,
Yeah.
but they're not called toast. You don't, if you get a hot dog roll,
Yeah.
and you toast it, you don't call that toast, you call it a hot dog roll, which maybe have been toasted.
Oh, Steve, no, you're so wrong here.
And then you put the peanut butter on it without the butter.
I think you've may have won some people over with your arguments before, but they're doing the whole bread. No, it's all toast.
Rubbish,
No,
man.
because you can have some of that bread that has a little round top on it and stuff like that. There's different varieties of bread.
That's basically square toast.
Sourdough is toast. If you toast sourdough, it's toast.
You're having a
If
laugh,
you have
mate.
raisin toast, is it still toast?
It's called raisin toast.
So it's not toast though.
No, of course
Even
it's
though it
called
has toast in
raisin
the name.
toast.
I'm going to raise my fist and clock you if you keep talking shit. Okay, well,
Wow.
this is another can of worms. We've got 3 options now, guys. We need your feedback on all of them. Crunchy or smooth, butter before your peanut butter, and is Steve out of his fucking mind when it comes to bread? So leave your comments below, guys. We need you to rate and review the show, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Leave some reviews. We've got a couple of reviews on there already. We need some more. Even if you want to tell us we're shit. We need 25 shit reviews. That's all we need. But that's going to be us for today, guys. Remember to hit the Facebook page. Hit us up. We'll put the link in there. But for Speak Arowana saying goodbye, for Steve Burrows,
Yep, peace.
we're going to fight and hopefully we'll speak to you next week. Peace.
Are you a podcaster? Maybe you've got that big idea and you're looking for a network to join. The multi-award-winning Ozcast Network can get your content to eyes and ears all over the world. Join now for the first month free, and you could be featuring this sound at the beginning of your podcast.
Ozcast.
Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.